Imagine turning a key, and the engine roars to life, without a starter motor. No crank, no electric motor, no typical tick-tick sound. Just instant ignition, as if the engine had a mind of its own. Sounds impossible. Today, you're about to witness a mechanical mystery that shocks even experienced engineers. Most engines rely on a starter motor, a small electric device that spins the crankshaft until the engine can run on its own. But what if I told you there's a design, a rare mechanism, where the engine doesn't need one at all? No battery strain, no heavy motor, nothing electrical involved, and yet, the engine still wakes up like a living creature. Let's dive deep into this insane phenomenon. This engine uses something called kickback ignition power. Sounds fancy, but the idea is simple. The engine uses its own compression to start itself. As fuel mixes with air inside the cylinder, a small movement, sometimes even just a slight push, creates enough pressure to fire the mixture automatically. That explosion forces the piston downward, and the cycle keeps repeating. What you'll see is an engine that almost breathes itself alive. Imagine an engine sitting completely still. The operator pulls a lever or rotates the flywheel just an inch. Suddenly, you hear a sharp pop, then another, and within seconds the whole engine is pounding like a heartbeat. No starter motor, because the engine is the starter. It feeds on its own internal pressure. The secret lies in the massive flywheel connected to the crankshaft. When you turn the flywheel even slightly, it stores rotational energy. Combine that with the incredibly high compression ratio inside the cylinder, and boom, the mixture ignites on its own. That first explosion is powerful enough to keep the engine moving. After that, the flywheel does the rest, storing energy, releasing it, and repeating the cycle endlessly. Some old diesel engines, stationary pumps, and vintage tractors used this technology. Why? Because they were built for remote areas where batteries were unreliable or difficult to replace. These engines had to start in rain, snow, dust, or storms. No excuses. Farmers, mechanics, and field workers relied on them because they were nearly impossible to kill. As long as you had fuel, the engine would run. But here's where things get truly crazy. When this type of engine starts, it almost looks like magic. You'll see the operator move the flywheel gently, and suddenly the engine coughs to life. No wires, no electric noise, just raw mechanical power. Some versions even have priming cups, tiny caps on top of the cylinder where the operator pours a few drops of fuel. Then, with one swift move, the pressure spikes, and the engine explodes into action. Picture this, an old workshop, the engine coated with dust and age. A mechanic rolls up his sleeves, rotates the flywheel slow, then a sudden spark of sound, pop pop pop. The piston slams down, the flywheel gains speed, the engine begins to shake. And in just 3 seconds, it's running so smoothly you'd think it had a brand new starter motor hidden somewhere. But no, it's every bit mechanical, pure, and brutally simple. Modern engines don't use this trick anymore because they rely on electronics and sensors. But watching this old school beauty come alive is like stepping into a time machine. You see engineering in its rawest, purest form. No fancy technology, no computer brain, just fuel, metal, compression, and the natural physics of combustion. And the best part, these engines rarely fail. Even if they sit unused for months, they can start with just one movement. People today find them shocking because we've become used to pressing buttons. But back then, engineers understood how to harness the internal power of pressure, using the engine's own resistance to ignite itself. As we reach the end of this incredible journey, imagine the final moment. The operator stands back, the flywheel spinning fast, the engine loud and confident. It started without a battery, without a motor, without electricity. Just pure engineering genius. That's the hidden secret behind how an engine can start entirely on its own, an invention from the past that still leaves viewers speechless today. If you want more insane engineering mysteries, don't forget to keep watching, keep learning, and stay curious, because machines like this still have stories left to tell.